It's finally time to take the long-awaited Maid Cafe video English version. But wait, this isn't very Maid Cafe-like. There we go, that's a lot better. Hello, hello, hello. Hanchan kata Heidi desu. It's been a while, long time no English video. And if you want to know why, it's honestly because like 90% of the audience on this channel is in Japan. So I've gotten a lot better reaction from my videos in Japanese. Kind of makes your English motivation go down. Y'all can change that by actually watching this video. Hello there. So we are on our, what is this, the 4th episode of How Do You Maru in Japan with Heidi. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about the job I did as a maid at a maid cafe in Akihabara for 3 years. Let's get started. So, yes, like I mentioned, I was indeed a maid at a maid cafe in Akihabara. And not just any maid cafe, no, the maid cafe in Akihabara. Now, because of like NDA kind of things, I'm not exactly sure if I'm like technically legally allowed to say, yes, I was working at this cafe, but there was a maid named Haichan who worked at the most well-known maid cafe in the world, and Akiba. Y'all can put one and one together and figure it out yourself. Even before moving to Japan, I was a big fan of maid cafes. I first discovered them probably when I was in like late elementary school, early middle school. Through a combination of things. I know I had a friend who really liked the manga Kaicho Maid-sama, and like I also had been a fan of like dancing odotte mita videos, and my favorite dancer actually used to be a former maid at home maid cafe. And I was also a big fan of the idol group Denpagumi Inc., which also had a couple of members who used to work at home maid cafe. I really looked up to at home maid cafe and their maids and their like quality of presentation and everything, even before moving to Japan. So the plan was, when I moved to Japan, I was like, I'm gonna be in Japan as a student. I'm gonna have to work some sort of job. It might as well be as a maid at a maid cafe, because like what else are you gonna do, right? So basically, when moving here, I made like a list of like, okay, this is my number 1 choice at home. Number 2 choices, we're not gonna say. Number 3 choices, I'll just, apply to them one by one and we'll see where I get into. I applied to my first choice and the rest is history. Yay! Again, yeah, so there was a maid at a home maid cafe named Haichan. What does this mean? What's this mean? We'll see. I don't know. I go behind John sometimes. But yeah, so Maid Haichan was born in February of 2017. Whoa, we're going back in time. So I had just moved to Japan. Me, Heidi, had just moved into Japan December of 2016. And so yeah, I immediately applied for jobs as soon as I had my address. And I passed said interview for said cafe in probably the beginning or mid-January, and then did a bunch of training, and then poof, I had my maid debut. Or Haichan had her maid debut. On February 20th, I believe it was, maybe 21st. And that was the start of it all. Well, a lot of fans of anime and manga know about maid cafes. There's a lot of, tourists to Japan who think okay, well, going to a maid cafe is something I should do when in Japan, but they don't really understand maid cafe culture. And At Home Cafe, being the most well-known cafe for maid cafes, gets a ton of tourists, visitors from overseas, masters and princesses from overseas, I should say. So up until Hai-chan had begun her journey at home, there had only been one previous Western maid there. I think there had been a handful of Chinese and other Asian maids, but there had only been one other Western maid, and she wasn't from an English-speaking country. She was from somewhere else. So like when I applied, they were like, oh, someone that can handle all the foreigners, yes. And I was immediately very well liked by all of the upper staff and the fairies. See, At Home Maid Cafe, the adults that work behind the scenes, they're fairies. Yes, they're fairies. They help run things like fairies should. And of course, the other maids on the floor also were fairly kind to me in general. There are some people who weren't, but in general, everyone was very, very kind to me, because I was good at getting things done, or I guess I should say Hai-chan was good at getting things done. Like any job where, cute girls work, it does sort of kind of turn into a popularity contest. So there's maids called premium maids, who are like the most popular. They kind of represent the whole cafe in whole, so like they're also very well loved by everyone. And it was always Hai-chan's dream to become the first foreign premium maid, but she was very, very shy, so she didn't really mention that to anyone, and it never really happened because she was not the most popular maid. But people behind the scenes did like her for getting her job well done. So what does a maid at a maid cafe do? Well, the master or princess comes home, and the maid shows you into your table. They explain the whole world of the maid cafe, our rules, the story behind everything, how they became the master and princess of this mansion. No, it's not a cafe, it's a mansion. And they welcome you home. Explain the whole menu, everything that the maids can offer to you to help you feel happy, relaxed, and experience mole at its truest form. So yes, we draw on like omelet rice or other foods and drinks, do a cute little spell like Moi Moi Kyun to make everything more delicious and bring you happiness and smiles. Sometimes they'll do little performances on the little stage within the cafe. At Home has like over 100 original songs, so like we would do our own songs, and then you can take a picture, a Polaroid picture or a techie, to commemorate your time with the maid that you liked or that you thought was cute or showed you in, whoever. But and then once you get everything all back, you've finished everything, the maid shows you off and you're off to your next adventure. Now, like I mentioned, there weren't very many foreign maids up until I joined. Up until Hai-chan began working at Home. And when Hai-chan joined the team, the At Home fairies realized, oh, having staff that can speak English is actually helpful. Let's hire someone. And there was actually a point in time when I was working, when Hai-chan was working, there were actually a pretty good handful of other foreign maids, also part of the cafe, which was really cool. Most of them did not last as long as Hai-chan. And after Hai-chan graduated, At Home kind of stopped hiring new foreign maids for some reason. I don't know why. But there was a time there when there was at least 7 of us, I think, which was really cool. Now, the foreign maids. How do the Japanese masters and princesses of this mansion feel about said foreign maids? They're kind of about them. See, the typical fan of maid cafes in Japan likes cute, small, black-haired, big-eyed, tiny, young-looking Japanese girls. And so, pretty tall, 美しい pretty tall, elegant, blonde foreigner shows up and they're like, oh, you're pretty. You speak Japanese? Oh, you do? Oh, okay, well, can you bring me my drink? That's about it. Now, there are a handful of people, especially foreign customers and female, the princesses of the maid cafe were so kind. Now, the masters of the maid cafe, they had their ups and downs. There were some very, very nice people, I will say, but not everyone. In fact, there were some people that were straight out xenophobic. Like, Ai-chan had an experience with one certain person where they refused to have me even bring them their drink or anything because they didn't want to interact with a foreigner. Lovely, lovely, you know. So that kind of thing does happen, but yeah, in general, I do think I really, really did enjoy my experience working at a maid cafe because it was just so fun to see the customers who came in for the first time leave with such a smile. Like, you know, I'm visiting a maid cafe for the first time. It's very nerve-wracking. You don't really know what you're going into until you're there. And most people are like, what's gonna happen? And come in looking kind of scared, nervous, not really knowing what's gonna come their way. But everyone, I do mean everyone, always left with a big smile, and just watching them glow on their way out just made my world and was what I loved most about being a maid, and what kind of made me stay for 3 years and even think about wanting to go back even now. There were definitely the downsides of definitely not getting the same opportunities as some of the Japanese maids. You know, it's a maid cafe, so they can't really support your visa and things like that. Like, there are certain circumstances where you can like work around that kind of thing, but it's a lot more difficult. So yeah, but I did really enjoy my time. Now, why did I leave? Like I mentioned, maid cafe can't really support a visa in general. Maybe if you already had work visa and you were working like a certain number of hours, making a certain amount that meets visa standards each month, it can then work. But when you're first switching from a student visa to a work visa, it's pretty difficult to get it to work. Yeah. So I didn't really have the knowledge that I had now about how visas work, and yeah, I didn't really understand like being a freelancer is still an option while having a work visa, and that can, like, you know, you can do a multitude of jobs to make circumstances work for yourself. It is a lot harder, I will say. As a super duper freelancer, I will say it is a lot harder than having a normal, you know, clean cut, suit, necktie kind of job, office person, but it is an option, and I did not realize that at the time. So I was like, well, I'm graduating school, gotta quit the maid cafe and get a real job. How long did I last at a real job? You'll find out in the next video. 2 videos from now. That was hard. But yeah, so I was like, well, time for the end of this chapter along with school. So I did move on, but I still do have a very, very big special spot for at-home cafe in my heart. Even now, I still do go as a princess and visit. I still have a handful of maids that I am friends with even now. And yeah, it's still a very special place to me. Did I make my dreams of becoming a premium maid true? Didn't happen, but I did meet some of my biggest supporters who followed me onto my idol career. I honestly learned more Japanese at that maid cafe than I ever did at language school, not gonna lie. And having to speak to so many new people every day really helped shy, introverted me learn how to talk to people, which is, one of the reasons why I'm able to talk like this to you. So while there were some downsides, there were, sometimes when I felt unappreciated, or like that I got treatment that was unfair because of being a foreigner. Overall, it had a lot more positive notes than sad, I would say, and it really was a wonderful experience to be a maid for 3 years. Yeah. I hope this video was informative to you. And if you're ever looking to visit a maid cafe, I do indeed recommend At Home. I feel like it definitely is the top level of quality for maid cafes. The girls are so professional. They really do a wonderful job of taking you beyond being at a cafe, like giving you experience of being almost at a theme park, I would honestly say. So yes, I do have a handful of other recommendations for maid cafes because I do really love them and enjoy going as a customer. But maybe I'll make another video about that if you guys are interested. My top maid cafes in Tokyo. That could be a thing if you guys like. Stay tuned. So next up in What Did How You Do in Japan in over 10 years video series we have coming up is voice acting school. I'll get that video to you guys soon, so keep an eye out for it. If you're not already subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. I upload videos in both English and Japanese, so if you're learning Japanese, watching the Japanese version could maybe even help you with your language skills. Who knows? Or vice versa. Yeah. Well, thanks again for watching. はいちゃんことはぎでした。See you in the next video. いってらっしゃいませ。ご主人様お嬢様。